I was always getting naked. I was always getting in trouble for getting naked.
So in my last Mario Bros. Movie video, I gave an overly complex analysis on the intricate design details of our pudgy plumber and his perky pals. And despite some extremely stupid oversights, sorry about that by the way, oops, this video still managed to make frickin' coin! So it only makes sense to do it again. And this time we're gonna focus on the second biggest topic of discussion in the community, aside from that Italian seat! And that's the movie's choice of voice actors. I'll be honest, I've always been very picky when it comes to the all-star cast mentality. I mean, on one hand, you do have a posse of seasoned veterans that have already delivered top-notch performances and have proven that they know their stuff. And when placed in roles that actually fit their acting talents, it can only elevate a production. My problem comes when companies only swear by celebrities, to the point where they use their popular names to guarantee butts in the seats, instead of casting people based on how well they'd actually fit the roles. Not to mention that the more times you pull from the same well of talent, the less willing people are going to be to drink from it, since they're already getting sick of seeing and hearing the same peeps in every production. And it seems like a lot of people agree with me, since the Mario movie got into some really hot water for sticking with trendy boys and gals instead of maybe, you know, casting people that actually fit the roles well? Like maybe the original voice actors? But you guys know me, I love to cast a massive vote of confidence whenever a rocky election comes around. So in this video, I'm gonna take a close look at the major confirmed voice actors for the Super Mario Bros. Movie, Mario, Luigi, Peach, Toad, Bowser, and Donkey Kong, compare them to the OGs who've been steering the ship so far, and give them both a score out of 10 in regards to how much I enjoy or hopefully will enjoy their portrayals. If you have any thoughts on the Mario movie's casting choices, because I know there are a lot of you, feel free to leave a comment below. But for now, let's take a nice long listen to our cast's vocal cords and see which ones deserve ridicule, indifference, or rewards. Let's go!
Koopas.
Let's start off with the chap who will be player one in this production and has easily had the most controversy about his casting, Chris Pratt as Mario. Now, Chris Pratt is a pretty talented guy, and he's had plenty of major roles in popular films. Like he was Owen Grady in the Jurassic World movies, Scott Hatberg in Moneyball, my boy Emmett from the Lego Movie, and who can forget the fact that he's the iconic Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy? Well, you know, besides the people in the movie.
Who? Star-Lord, man.
I have no idea. I've never met this person before in my entire life.
But when it came to the Mario casting announcement, I'll admit I was definitely in the majority camp who all agreed that this was not gonna work. I mean, Charles Martinet has been the untouchable voice of the character for over 3 decades, and to this day he still puts in so much effort to make Mario sound like one of the most happy and energetic fellas to ever make Turtles in Danger. He just sounds like he's having the time of his life whenever he does the simplest of things. Every jump, every kick, every word of confirmation is full of so much energy and passion, and I love it.
Hello, ravioli. Okay, Bowser?
But from what we've heard of Chris Pratt, he just doesn't hold a candle to the charm or charisma of Charles's performance, and that can be seen as a problem. The way Mario speaks is iconic. Everybody knows his funny accent and infectious energy. His voice is meant to grab your attention, make you excited, get you feeling some kind of way. Mario, Mario, Mario.
Wahoo.
Okay, not that kind of way, but you get what I mean. I was basically ready to write this off as an abject failure, but the more I thought about it, the more I became okay with it. While it is true that Chris Pratt's performance sounds as basic and Joe Schmo as you can imagine, it's possible that it was done on purpose to serve the narrative. At his core, Mario is just meant to be your typical Brooklyn Italian dude with the best commercial of all time, so it makes sense for him to sound the way he does. And if you're worried that he's never going to exude the qualities of our favorite plumber, I have a feeling that spending some time in the Mushroom Kingdom is eventually going to help him grow and evolve into the character that we all know and love by the end. Remember the part where Pratt Mario utters his first "Woohoo!" and everybody hated it? Well, when you combine the excited look on his face, the minimal height he gets during his jump, the lack of real oomph in his line read, and the fact that he doesn't immediately crash his car after doing so, it shows that he's starting to make progress in this fantastical new world by doing some more crazy things and actually succeeding at them, but he still has a long way to go before he's the definitive Super Mario. In fact, maybe the whole concept of what super means will end up being a theme in the movie. Like maybe Mario gets so down on himself near the end because everyone expected him to be super and that's just not something he can do. He's trying his best and making some progress, but he's still not that good at fighting or jumping or racing or anything they want out of him. But then he gets a reminder that doing those things isn't what being super is all about. Super in general represents exuding some kind of standout quality compared to the rest. And Mario's already proven how super he is every single day. He's a super kind brother, a super hard worker, a super friendly and selfless guy. He's been super all along just by being himself. And this eventually comes into play when he has to save the day. I'm gonna bet that during Mario's inevitable final fight with Bowser, all of his super qualities are gonna come in handy in unique ways. Like maybe he uses his legitimate plumbing skills to reroute the pipes and blast Bowser in the face with high pressure water. Maybe all the characters he's been kind to over the movie all unite together and use their special abilities to help him take down Bowser and his minions.
You mess with Mario. You mess with all of us.
And then at the very end, Mario summons all the energy he can to utter a much more triumphant, much more powerful as he reaches a massive jump height and lays the smack on Bowser Black for a big audience-pleasing climax and a proper conclusion to his character arc. His true super qualities have helped him achieve victory, and thanks to the friends he's made, he's started to become super in other ways too. Heck, I've even heard rumor that Charles Martinet is going to be making some kind of appearance in the movie. Wouldn't it be hilarious if Mario has some kind of vision from his deceased father or grandfather who's actually voiced by Martinet? Like he'd have a heavier Italian accent being from a previous generation, and he could tell his grandson about what super truly means. If this is the plot they actually end up going with, making Mario as normal as possible to drive home the themes of what being super truly entails, then Pratt's casting wouldn't just work, it would be genius. However, that is a major what-if scenario, so I guess the best we can do right now is just judge the performance for what it is. And what it is mostly bland at face value, but has the potential to be effective if used properly. We've only seen bits and pieces of the movie so far, so who knows? Maybe Senor Star-Lord will surprise us when the full thing comes out. If we're going by numerical scores here, Mario's original voice obviously gets a 10, and for Pratt, I'll go with 7. I'm cautiously optimistic about this, but that's the best I can do for now. At least the memes have been fun.
If I had a black light, the place would look like a Jackson Pollock painting.
Try kitten mittens.
Okay, now let's skitter over to a voice choice that I think most of us can agree on. Charlie Day as Luigi. This decision fills me less with cautious optimism and instead just straight up optimism. I love this guy. He starred as Charlie Kelly in Always Sunny as well as helping produce it. He was Art from Monsters University, an underrated classic, and my favorite role by far, Benny, aka 1980-something space guy from the Lego Movie. Now, once again, Charles Martinet has done a phenomenal job over the years bringing Luigi to life as well, speaking with a more nasally, pathetic-sounding voice compared to his big bro, which is super endearing to me. All the worrywart expressions, the terrified screaming, and the whoa 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 has become freaking synonymous with this petrified player too. If Mario's the kind of energy holic you want to go to a party or have a jog with, then Luigi's the kind of guy you just want to bring into a hug and tell him that everything's gonna be okay. He's a goof, he's a sweetheart, he's a total wimp, and Mr. Martinet embodies that personality perfectly when he voices him. Now, Charlie Day obviously sounds a lot different, but I feel like he manages to hit that ideal sweet spot between sounding like a normal guy, which he's supposed to be at first, and embodying the almighty spirit of Luigi. His nervousness and screams are on freaking point, and it works well to embody the cowardly vibes of our favorite second fiddle. We've seen that he can go from calm and collected to off the wall in many of his performances, and I imagine that if he keeps this up, we're gonna have a lot of fun with his version of the character. I'm not sure if he's gonna go through some kind of narrative arc in the movie, like maybe he'll learn not to be such a wimp all the time and be more willing to take risks at a moment's notice, but if he's simply there for support and comic relief, then at least we know that he'll be entertaining the whole way through. This is definitely up there as one of the better casting choices in my eyes. And while I would probably give Luigi's original voice a 9, I'm confident in giving Charlie's take an 8.5. Not a one-for-one recreation, but a perfect balance between normal and faithful, at least from what we've seen so far.
Princess Peach all the way.
Anya Taylor Joy as Princess Peach. Remember when I said that Peach had by far the best redesign of the bunch? A veritable queen amongst her less impressive peers? Well, happy opposite day.
Oh no!
Yeah, Anya Taylor Joy isn't really a name I'm all too familiar with, mainly since she hasn't been in anything I've ever watched. Let's see, she was in a lot of Shyamalan movies. She was in the New Mutants, I guess. She was Marla Brenner in the Playmobil movie.
You know, for someone called Joy, this resume is pretty sad.
Okay, not the best track record from the looks of things, but we can still judge her Peach performance on its own merits. And so far, while Miss Joy definitely does deliver her lines effectively, there's just nothing peachy about her performance so far. Peach has been voiced by quite a few people over the years, most notably Jen Taylor from 1999 to 2005, and Samantha Kelly from 2007 to present day. Also, Nicole Mills was Peach for like 5 games. Regardless of who took up the mic though, Peach's voice was always consistent. Most of the time she was sweet and kind and tender and precious, much like the fruit she's named after. Someone you'd want to save or spend time with or even be ruled by. Just a very pleasant, soft character. But at the same time, she was no stranger to delivering the occasional spicy line that makes you think she's not quite as innocent as she lets on.
Oh, did I win?
Bottom line is that Peach had range and personality in her deliveries, while Miss Joy here just kinda talks like her normal self. I don't know if they wanted to make her sound more competent or in charge or whatever, but it completely drains the character of her original charm. And unlike Mario, who has an excuse for sounding normal since he's just your average guy from the real world, Peach is supposed to be born in this fantastical place. So don't you think she'd have some energy, some spice, I don't know, some anything in her voice to make her sound different compared to the brothers? I'm just gonna say that this is probably my least favorite casting choice of the bunch so far. Maybe that'll change when the full movie comes out, but I'm not exactly thrilled by what I'm seeing at the moment. Peach's original voice gets a 9, and the movie version gets 6. It's competent for what it is, but I'm not exactly walking on air when I hear it.
Skadoosh.
Oh yeah, here we go! Here we go! It's the one I'm sure you've all been waiting for, Jack Black as Bowser. He's been a dragon warrior, a Mexican luchador, 2 guitar virtuosos, and a trans-vegan shark, and now he's taking on the role of gaming's most iconic baddie. And the reason why he's received the most praise from the fandom is actually quite simple. He does the most acting. He actually puts on a great villain voice and manages to be both an intimidating threat and a double-decker ham sandwich at the same time. He makes the role his own. He brings out the enjoyment. He brings out the fun. Now, Bowser's original voice, provided by Scott Burns from 2002 to 2007, and then Kenneth W. James up until the present day, is often portrayed as a gruff, menacing-sounding monster with all the deep, guttural vocal power of a 500-foot-tall Godzilla turtle thing. Roars and evil laughs for days. But he does still have the occasional funny bits, since he can also be seen as a huge egotist and major goofball at times. Heck, have you ever just heard this guy eat before? Come on, that's friggin' hilarious. And while Jack doesn't have nearly the same amount of gravel in his throat, this performance still works perfectly. He really does fit the mold of an all-powerful king who knows he's hot stuff and can also shoot out hot stuff if you cross him. He's got a good evil chuckle, he can be loud, he can be subtle, he can revel in his victory. Heck, all this guy has to do is say 3 short words and he's already a meme machine. I would even say that I prefer this voice over the original Bowser when it comes to a full-length movie. Unlike Mario, Luigi, and Peach's original voices, which I could see being engaging for a full film, the overly gruff, deep Bowser voice works really well for screams and isolated clips, but when it comes to listening to dialogue exchanges for long, extended scenes, I feel like a voice as deep as Bowser's could get a little bit annoying if used to excess. So changing his voice to something like this is perfectly reasonable. And hey, whatever you have to say about Jack Black, at least it's better than going the Mario Sunshine route, in which case you'd get this.
Junior, I've got something difficult to tell you about Princess Peach.
I know.
He sounds like freaking Cookie Monster. Overall, I've got nothing bad to say about Jack Black so far. He's got his own unique take on the Koopa King that I could see myself listening to for hours. And if he keeps it up, he's gonna end up being a major movie highlight for all of us. Let's give the OG Bow Wow an 8 and JB a big fat 10. I can't wait to see what awesome talents this professional will bring to such a Paramount picture.
Chris Pine.
You know, I find it extremely fitting that Keegan Michael Key will be voicing a member of the toad species, because much like them,
He's freaking everywhere.
seriously, is there anything this guy hasn't been in? Aside from being the key to Mr. Jordan's Peel, he's also had roles in Wendell and Wild, Chip and Dale, Green Eggs and Ham, Hotel Transylvania, American Dad, Rick and Morty, Toy Story 4, and Kill Me Now. This guy's got chops, pipes, and range for days. And luckily, he manages to take a page out of Mr. Black's book and is clearly doing his best to put on a unique performance. He's got a lot of adventurous energy, he's able to switch between loud and quiet when it's appropriate, and he's got just enough rasp in his voice to be distinct as Toad without sounding super shrill or annoying. I mean no offense to Samantha Kelly and Jen Taylor who've been voicing Toad for years now, he definitely does have a distinct, unforgettable sound to him that can be really cute at times, but...
Here we go!
I'm pretty sure that listening to that voice for 2 hours is considered torture in third world countries.
Anyway, this is just another example of an actor putting a unique but familiar spin on a character that fits a lot better than the original for a movie format. And I'm more than happy to accept this equally energetic and fun-loving substitute as the voice of the princess's top toadie. Original Toad gets a 7, and movie Toad gets an 8. No matter what way you slice and dice it, Toad is a fun guy in both of his portrayals, with one being more tolerable for a longer runtime.
Can I use your bathroom?
You know, I don't really know what to say about this one. I mean, Seth Rogen's the man, he's been the man for years, but Donkey Kong just kind of sounds like a regular guy here. Like there are no apeisms to his delivery, no ooh-ooh-ah-ah to his lines. I mean, he sounds okay, there's clearly effort being put into the acting, and I know you kiddies love this line.
Now you die.
But he's not even, he's more like I don't know, Seth does his job fine, but DK shouldn't just sound like a dude. There's gotta be something more to it. More gruntiness, more exaggeration, I don't know, do something. This just doesn't feel right to me. I don't know, I'm probably alone on this one, so I'll just end things right here. Put up the, yeah, there you go, just, I don't know, I don't know. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the most prominent voices in the soon-to-be Mario movie. This all-star cast isn't blinding per se, but there are a few twinkles of brilliance to be found if you stare at the sky for long enough. With all that said though, what do you guys think? Are you excited to hear these celebs in Nintendo's Big Plumber picture, or do you think the original cast would have made for a better choice? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in everybody, and I hope to see you all real soon.